Lesson 16, Enabling Fast Start Failover. The fast start failover is automatic failover based on conditions. In this lesson, we will discuss how to configure fast start failover and how to view information about fast start failover. And then we will see how to start observer and how to manage observers. And then we're going to perform role changes in a fast start failover configuration. And after fast start failover, and we will also discuss how to reinstate the original primary database. Okay, so fast start failover. Fast start failover, it is automatic failover feature. So in order to use a fast start failover, target standby database must be defined. And also, we will have to start observer process. So observer continuously monitor primary database to check its health. And also, observer continuously check standby database because standby database include connectivity information between primary and standby database. If observer has lost the connection to primary database and also standby database has lost connectivity to primary database, if both conditions are met, then fast start failover will be initiated, and that's one condition. So time-based, connectivity-based fast start failover. So the mandatory component to configure fast start failover, we will have to install observer software. It's nothing more than software that we can start observer process. So you can install client administer software, or you can install full database software, and then you can start observer process. Okay, so let's take a look at prerequisite. In order to use a fast start failover, you will have to configure data protection mode properly. And also, redo transport service mode must be configured properly. You can use a fast start failover in maximum protection and maximum availability and maximum performance. And we had a discussion about this topic. Maximum protection requires synchronous redo transfer service. Maximum availability, the minimum is a fast sync, and also you can set it to a sync. And maximum performance, it is asynchronous redo transfer mode that's required. Actually, that's in a minimum. One thing is, when you go with the maximum protection mode for fast start failover, you will have to have at least 2 standby databases. That's a requirement. And also, flashback database must be enabled on the primary database and pre-selected target standby database. Because we discussed about failover, manual failover in the earlier lesson. After performing failover, the old primary database will become disabled because all the primary database include more changes. So in order to enable all the primary database, which is a new physical standby database or logical standby database, we have to enable flashback database feature to reinstate the database. Since the fast start failover support automatic reinstation of standby databases, so this must be enabled. And also, in the site where Observer will be running, we will have to configure tnsnames.ora file. So by doing so, Observer can connect to primary database, and also Observer can connect to standby database. And also, you will need to create static service name so that Observer can automatically restart database. We had a discussion about static service registration. So I'm hoping that you remember this topic. So here we have the outlines. Number one, specify the target standby database. And number two, set data protection mode based on your requirement. And set threshold. And also, you can set additional database properties and conditions. Finally, you enable fast start failover, and you're going to start Observer in the designated location to monitor status of a primary database, to monitor connectivity between primary database and standby database. And then we're going to start Observer, and also we verify configuration. So very first step, specify target standby database. You can choose one standby database or multiple standby databases. So you can list candidate targets. So we have edit database Boston, set property, fast start failover target, London 3 and London 4. If conditions are met, Observer will initiate fast start failover. The first target that will be considered is the first placed standby database, in this case London 3. However, if a London 3 is not available, the next available candidate will be chosen. In this case, London 4. So you can have a multiple target, but the broker will choose the candidate targets based on the order listed in the fast start failover target. So in this case, London 3 is the active target. But if you want to switch the order and you want to make another target as the target that must be considered first, then you can also issue set fast start failover target to Boston, in our case London 4. So it's possible to change target of a fast start failover without disabling fast start failover, without modifying the fast start failover list. Okay, in our case London 3 was the first, London 4 next. But I want to choose London 4 first as an active target. Then dynamically you can set fast start failover target to London 4. So that's a possible option. So when you look at example, show fast start failover, current active target in this case not sure. In our case it could be London 3. And also potential target not sure, and also Boston in this example. When we go with the example in a couple of pages back, then you will see London 3 as a candidate, and also Boston and London 4 as a candidate. So you can actually switch the active target by using set fast start failover target command. and it's dynamic. You don't have to disable fast start failover. So you can switch target easily. And also configure data protection mode. We had a discussion about data protection mode. Now you know what is the maximum protection, what is the maximum availability, and maximum performance, and also targets as well, actual requirement as well. Read transport requirement of a maximum protection is synchronous, and maximum availability is a redo transport mode requirement is either sync or fast sync, and also maximum performance is async. A couple more requirement. In order to configure fast start failover in maximum protection, you must have at least 2 standby databases. In order to configure fast start failover for maximum performance data protection, then set fast start failover lag limit, meaning that if a fast start failover condition is met and it's about to initiate fast start failover, instead of the initiating fast start failover immediately, check apply lag in the current standby database, which is a fast start failover target. If apply lag exceeds your requirement, then don't initiate fast start failover. So you can specify your requirement. I can lose data, okay, but no more than 45 seconds in this example. So you can set it to lower, you can set it to higher. So what is the amount of data you can lose in the worst case? So that will be your requirement. In that case, the data guard broker will not initiate fast start failover operation if it's not possible to meet your requirement. Okay, so here we have a configuration property, fast start failover threshold equals to 15. So this is the time-based condition. So if it's not possible to communicate within certain amount of time, then fast start failover will be initiated. So in addition to time-based the fast start failover condition, we also have additional conditions here. So we can use a fast start failover lag limit, fast start failover primary shutdown, fast start failover auto reinstate, and observer connect identifier, observer override, and observer reconnect. So these properties will be covered in the next slide. So let's go with setting of lag time limit. This setting only applicable to maximum performance. Okay, so it is to set the apply lag limit to be able to initiate fast start failover. Think about that. Under maximum performance, we use asynchronous read transport service. So depending on many factors like network latency and also some other issues, your standby database may be slightly behind the primary database. Okay, so we can actually set apply lag limit only when apply lag is less than your target. Then you want to initiate fast start failover. So that's what you can set here. So we can use edit configuration set property fast start failover lag limit equals to 30 seconds. Real-time apply must be enabled on the standby database. And then fast start failover cannot be enabled in maximum performance mode with a far sync. Okay, so another one is configuring the primary database to shut down automatically. And you should use a fast start failover primary shutdown. So if a primary database is not reachable and standby database has lost the connection to primary database, so a fast start failover will be initiated. And then you will shut down primary database if you want to set it to true. But you can set it equals to false. So before shutting down database, you may want to troubleshoot. So you want to actually keep your database in the current state, and you can actually troubleshoot to see why it happened. So that's one possible thing what you can do. And also we have automatic reinstatement after fast start failover. Reinstatement of original primary database is nothing more than resynchronization process by using flashback database feature behind the scene. So in order to use this feature, primary database and standby database, we must enable flashback database. And also at mount state, your standby database can be reinstated automatically after fast start failover. So in order to use this feature, you can set fast start failover auto reinstate. And default value is true, meaning that as long as your standby database is a mount state, then internally flashback database is applied. Thus, your original primary database is resynchronized with a new primary database. So we can enable original primary database that became physical standby database. However, you don't want to enable this feature because you want to troubleshoot to see what happened. So in that case, you can set equals to false. And also setting connect identifier for observer. So you can actually specify observer connect identifier to specify which net service name, which service you want to use. And the default connect identifier is the value of a DG connect identifier. When you registered primary database and standby databases, we had to specify DB unique name, so add database DB unique name, and also we had to specify connect identifier. And connect identifier update data guard connect identifier. And also same value is used for observer connect identifier. And also we have a setting of observer override, and observer override property to allow automatic failover to occur when the observer has lost the connectivity. Remember that with a time-based condition, in order to initiate fast start failover, two conditions must be met at the same time. Number one, observer has lost the connectivity to the primary database, and standby database has lost the connectivity to the primary database. Only when two conditions are met, then fast start failover is possible. However, you want to set up your fast start failover to initiate fast start failover, even if one condition is met. For example, observer lost the connection to the primary database. Even in that case, even with a single condition, you may want to initiate fast start failover. In that case, you can set edit configuration set property observer override equals to true. That's what you can do. But default value is false, meaning that only when two conditions are met, then fast start failover is possible. And also, you can set observer reconnect frequency. How often you want to make new connection from observer to the primary database. It's kind of a connection testing. Default value is 0, meaning that once you establish a single connection, we use a single connection just to check status of a primary database. Okay, but there may be the connection hang issue. So, in order to avoid the connection hanging issue, you may want to establish new connections every few seconds. So that way you can make sure your connectivity problem to primary database is not connection hanging issue. Okay, so even though primary database up and running, you may have some hang issue that may cause they may actually report as a connectivity problem. So we can actually establish new connections every few seconds by using observer reconnect property. Okay, so what else? So we also have a condition-based fast start failover configuration. We can enable fast start failover condition, stuck archiver. In this case, this is one in a condition, stuck archiver. Observer initiate a fast start failover without waiting for fast start failover threshold to expire. And configuration conditions detectable through database health check and error raised by Oracle server. And you can use show fast start failover command to list all the conditions. Here are the additional conditions. If a data file goes offline, and also control file is corrupted, and data dictionary is corrupted, and inaccessible log file, and stuck archiver. Okay, so you have a default value, and also optional thing. So we can actually use a DJ health check condition for the fast start failover. And finally, if conditions are set correctly, and then you configure the fast start failover target, then you can enable fast start failover. Okay, so after you enable fast start failover, what you can do is you can enable fast start failover observer only mode. It's kind of a dry run. So you may want to make sure whether fast start failover works properly or not. So rather than implementing fast start failover, you may want to receive a series of messages to see what will happen if a fast start failover conditions are met. For example, you have a primary database problem and you have a connectivity problem between primary and standby database. Fast start failover observer only mode, it will not initiate fast start failover. However, it will report you, okay, what is the current status of a fast start failover. Okay, so you will receive a series of messages from observer under observer only mode. Finally, we're going to start observer. By default, observer is a foreground process mode, so it will not return data guard broker command line interface back. So you can actually view all observer activities, but you can also start observer in the background mode as well. And also observer can use configuration-wide service. And this is a common service that will be used by all members of a data guard configuration. By default, configuration-wide service name is DB unique name of a primary database and CFG. And this service name is common to all members of a cluster. So data guard broker and observer will use this service to communicate with all the other members. If you want to change it manually, you can actually use edit configuration, set property, configuration wide service equals to Boston CFG. That's what you can do. And also, you can start more than one observers in a single configuration. You can actually start, the observer in multiple locations. Only one of the observers are active. The other observers will be placed in the backup mode. So if your active observer has a problem, then the backup observer will be chosen to be active observer. So we can register up to 3 observers to monitor a single data guard configuration. Actually, a single active observer, but the other observers in backup mode. So you can run show observer command to see the current configuration. If you want to switch the master role, then you can actually set master observer to observer name. Okay, when you start observer without name, then name will include, observer name will include host name, or you can provide a name when you start observer. And you can start observer as a background process using start observer name in background. Okay, so you will see the file and also logo file information. So as soon as you run start observer, it will actually return prompt back. This command uses Oracle Wallet to obtain credentials to log into Oracle database server and also to register observer. So finally, we're gonna the review fast start failover status. Fast start failover enabled, and we have a time-based and threshold-based condition, and target is a London database, and observer is running out of a host 04, and if your data protection mode is a maximum performance, and this lag limit will be applicable. And we also have some of the operations that will be considered by fast start failover. After fast start failover, primary database will be shut down, and original primary database auto reinstated, and also observer reconnect, and also observer override. So this one is disabled. And in addition to time-based threshold, you can also add a health condition to initiate fast start failover based on these conditions as well. So if you have a corrupted control file, don't wait, just fast start failover. If there is a dictionary problem, don't wait, fast start failover. Okay, but in your environment, you may have this idea. Okay, so if you have a corrupted control file, I can easily recover in place by using backup. If you have a data dictionary problem, I can easily recover the system table space in place. If that is the case, you have to set it to no and no. Okay, so you will have to know what is your requirement, what should be condition that initiate fast start failover. And also, other than time-based and predefined conditions, you can also initiate fast start failover from an application. So in the application, you add the code. So application connecting to primary database, and then you add application logics. If application logic and each condition met the fastest start failover condition, then application invert dbmsdg initiate fs failover. So when this is executed and requested by or invoked by application, then this is another condition where fast start failover is possible. So you may want to initiate fast start failover based on your own business logic. Okay, so that's also possible. So here's the action of the package dbmsdg and function initiate fs failover, and we have a return code, the binary integer. So your application can invoke this function to initiate fast start failover. And we can view fast start failover information from the $V database and target under lag limit, meaning that at current time the fast start failover is possible to the target under maximum performance environment, and your target is London, threshold is 30 seconds, and observer and host. Observer is running in host shadow 4. If connectivity problem observed over 30 seconds, then to London database, database fast start failover will be initiated, because this is under the lag limit. And also from $V fast start failover stat, you will determine the region for fast start failover. So in this case, primary disconnected. So we had a problem, time-based condition was met. So we had a connectivity problem. So that's what you can see. And also prohibited operations after enabling fast start failover. Configuration protection policy change, the protection mode change, that's prohibited. And disabling, deleting far sync is prohibited. And disabling or deleting fast start failover standby database is prohibited. If a fast start failover is not usable in your environment, then you can actually disable fast start failover, and you can even add a force option if there is a connectivity problem, or you can get rid of the other condition, health condition based fast start failover option. When you're disabling fast start failover, you can add a force option in 3 scenarios. When fast start failover environment is synchronized, and the primary has lost the connectivity to observer and the target database. And to prevent fast start failover from occurring on the target standby database, and to conduct manual failover when the fast start failover environment is unsynchronized. Okay, so for these 3 cases, you can use a force option with a disable fast start failover. And you can stop observer after disabling fast start failover. And after you disable fast start failover and then stop observer, you can perform manual switchover and failover based on your decision and based on your conditions. It's by user. And also manually reinstating the database. So after you perform the manual failover, you can reinstate database manually, and this is against the original primary database to resynchronize it with the new primary database. So you can also do it manually. So up to this point, I spent about 35 minutes to go through all fast start failover, the configuration, and also processes. In the next lesson, next section of this lesson, I'm going to actually introduce Enterprise Manager to enable fast start failover, and also I will show you some of the demos not covered in the practice activity. And practice activity will give you a very good hands-on, practices and a very good idea. But there are also a couple of things you need to know, so I will show you that as a demonstration. Okay, so now let's take a look at Enterprise Manager. Enterprise Manager, DataGuard homepage. We can enable fast start failover. The screenshot in the slide, it shows fast start failover. Current status is disabled. And also maximum performance, and you can change it to maximum availability, maximum protection. And also we have a standby database. This could be a candidate of a fast start failover target. So you can actually configure fast start failover using Enterprise Manager. You can choose a target database selection, and then you can also configure observer to start observer in the specific location as well. So when you click configure observer, you can actually specify location of observer and also Oracle Home location, and you can add fast start failover properties and primary database properties. Failover threshold, in this case 30 seconds. For maximum performance, we can also set a lag limit, and also you can use configurable failover health conditions as well. And also we have automatically reinstate primary and automatically shut down primary database, so additional options that we can configure. And also we can confirm the enable fast start failover request, and then we can monitor the progress, and you can also change the data protection mode when needed. So you can use a maximum protection, maximum performance, and maximum availability. And also you can disable fast start failover. So when you click enable to london.example.com link, you have an option to disable and also option to stop all observer. Or you can simply suspend fast start failover but without stopping all observers. So using Enterprise Manager, this can be done. And if you want to move observer to new host, you stop observer, and then you can start observer in the new host. So that's an easy way to move observer. And also you can configure multiple observers. So you can actually choose active observer in a specific host, and then you can also start backup observers as well. So you can easily configure multiple observers in a single DataGuard configuration. So we have a quiz here. Which protection mode can be used to enable fast start failover? Maximum protection is possible, maximum availability is possible, maximum performance is possible. So the answer is all of above. And also you can configure multiple active observers in a single DataGuard broker configuration to coordinate fast start failover with a DataGuard broker. The answer is false. You can configure multiple observers it doesn't mean that you can configure multiple active observers. So you can only configure one observer as an active observer, and other observers must be in the backup mode. And the other question is, when you configure fast start failover in observer only mode, data guard broker add messages to the observer log and broker log indicating that fast start failover would have been initiated. The answer is yes. So it's kind of a dry run testing. I'm going to show you a couple of demos in the demo environment. So let's move on to demo environment. Okay, so I'm in the demo environment. So I'm going to use a DGMGRL to connect to Boston database. That's my primary database. So we have a show configuration. I have one primary database and also two standby databases, especially two physical standby databases. I reconfigured this demo environment. So London 2 is a physical standby database. It's not logical standby database at this point. And then what I'm going to do, let me actually take a look at the read route property of a Boston database. Show database, verbose, database, verbose, Boston. So when you actually move up here, we have a redo route setting. Redo route setting is a Boston and London 2. So if a Boston database is a primary database, Boston transport redo to London 2 asynchronously. So it is an asynchronous redo transfer service. Now, I want to actually test one thing. Maximum protection. Can I enable fast start failover in the maximum protection mode? Okay, so I want to test this. During the practice time, you will test with maximum availability. So here I want to test with the maximum protection. To do so, redo route must include sync mode. So what I'm going to do, edit database for Boston database, set property, redo route equals to, if a Boston database is a primary database, Boston transfer redo to London 2 synchronously. So we use the sync option. And also, I will edit database London. If a London database becomes primary, you should be able to transfer redo to two databases. Set property redo route equals to London, and you transport to Boston and London 2 synchronously. And also, if London 2 becomes primary database, we want to transport redo to London 2, Boston and London synchronously. So I made a typo, database, edit database, So I updated it successfully. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna set fast start failover target. Okay. One thing what we know, we can have a multiple candidate targets. So I will go with the Boston database, edit database, Boston, set property, fast start fail over target. I'm gonna choose London and London 2. The order is very important. So London will be active and London will be considered next. And also edit database London, set property, fast start failover target equals to, I will go with the Boston first and then London 2 next. And then I'm going to edit database London 2. If London 2 becomes a primary database, I will set Boston as a target. Set property fast start failover target target equals to Boston and London. So that's what we can set. So if you want to see fast start failover configuration, show fast start failover, then it will give you information. So in this case, we have a candidate, London and London 2. Okay, so we haven't actually chosen an active target because we haven't completed the fast start failover, yet. What is this? The effective reader transfer mode is incompatible with the configuration protection mode. Oh, it's because our current setting is maximum performance. So you can actually add a multiple potential targets like this. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually attempt to change the data protection mode, edit database, edit configuration, set protection mode as a max protection. Let's see if it works. So upgrade to a maximum protection mode is not possible. So there could be many reasons. One of the reasons of this error is maybe because of a flashback feature. So I'm gonna go to host 01 and I will log in as a sysdba. As you can see, I haven't enabled the flashback feature. So alter flashback database on. I have to turn this on. Alter database flashback on. And then I'm connecting to host 03. And then flashback on from $V database. As you can see, we haven't enabled it. So you have to stop MRP first, alter database, recover, manage it, standby, cancel, alter database, recover, manage it, standby database, cancel. And then finally, I will enable flashback feature, alter database, flashback on. And I will restart. Alter database, recover, manage it, standby, database, disconnect. Alter database, recover, manage it, standby, database, disconnect. I made a typo. Okay, so what about London 2? I'm pretty sure we haven't enabled flashback feature here. So I will stop, alter database, recover, manage it, standby, database, cancel. And also alter database, flashback on. And alter database, recover, manage it, standby, database, disconnect. Okay, so everything is clear. So now what? Let's see if I can change it to maximum protection. Copy and paste. Okay, still failed. So set protection mode, upgraded to maximum protection, not possible. Okay, so even after I enabled the flashback feature, it wasn't possible. It's because you jump to maximum protection from maximum performance. So you will have to upgrade data protection mode to maximum availability first, and then you can promote it to maximum protection. Let's see if it works or not. So now step by step, edit configuration, set protection mode as max availability, and let's go with the maximum availability first. It worked. So now I'm going to edit configuration, set protection mode as max protection. Look at this. Now it's possible. So during the practice time, throughout practice activities, you keep maximum performance mostly. And also in this practice activity, you will also go with the maximum availability. But I'm also showing you, you can also configure fast start failover with the maximum protection. That's what I wanted to show you. So when you type show configuration, as you can see, you have a maximum protection, and also you have a London and London 2 database. And the other one, what I want to show you is, so when you type show fast start failover, I have two candidates here. So what I want to do is, so I want actually the set fast start failover target to London, and no wait. So in this case, we haven't enabled the fast start failover, so that's why we cannot choose one target as active target. So what we're gonna do, enable fast start failover. Okay, so this is not dash, it's underscore. Enable fast start failover. Hit enter. So after enable it, let's say show fast. In this case, show configuration. So also underscore fast start failover. Hit enter. So as you can see, soon as you enable fast start failover, one is selected. So what I'm gonna do, this is the active target, but I want to switch to London. So in this case, what I'm going to do, I will use the command set fast start failover target to London. No, wait. So the specify the standby database is not a valid fast start failover. So I probably made some typo. Let me double check. So I'm going to type show database and Boston fast start failover target. So I added the London and London 2. I don't know why that didn't work. So let me see, show database for Boston. Let's see here, London 2 synchronous. Okay, so it should work. So I'm not sure there is some typo, and also there is some any syntax error or not. So that's what I cannot show you for the moment. So I showed a way to configure fast start failover under maximum protection. So that's what I showed you. And also it's possible to set multiple candidate targets. That's also a possible thing. Okay, so I showed that part. And another thing what you can do, you can test a couple of things. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to exit out. Since I don't have anything in host shadow 2, I will connect to host shadow 2, and I will set environment variable. And the other side, I will also connect to host shadow 4. And here I didn't create database. I will set environment variable. So I can actually start observer here. dgmgrl says oracle underscore for you at Boston. And also in this location, I can also use dgmgrl says oracle underscore for you at Boston. And then you can start observer here, and you provide observer 01 on host 02. Let's see if it works or not. So as you can see, it started here. And also, let me start from here. I have data guard broker command line interface, observer, and I can also provide the OB 02, and it is host 04. So I can also start the observer here as well. So I have two the observers. And then we're going to start another terminal window here. Let's connect to host 01. Okay, so I can use the first terminal window. So here I can type show observer. So as you can see, I have a primary database, active target is London 2. I have OB01 host, it is a master. And also master location is host 02. I can also have observer 02. It's in the backup mode in host 04. That's what you can see. But if you want to switch the master role, then you can use a set master observer to OB02 underscore host 04. So I can change it. So when you type show observer, as you can see, you have observer. This time, this is a master. Okay, that's what you're going to see. So you can have multiple observers, but one is a master. Another thing what you can test here is you can actually run start observer 03 in host 01. But you can actually add additional keyword here in background. So I can start this observer in the background. Did I make typo? Okay, so I'm not sure it's because of I didn't create wallet, because this mode uses a wallet for credential. So start observer, just using without name in background. I'm just testing. Yeah, looks like this must use Oracle Wallet, but start observer name in background. This command is available, but it uses wallet to obtain credentials. But I haven't configured it. So that's what you can test. So the second part of this lesson, I showed how to configure fast start failover using Enterprise Manager. And also I showed a couple of demos that are not covered in your hands-on practice activity. So you can combine this demo to gain some knowledge and also to learn more from your hands-on practice activity. Practice 16-1, configuring fast start failover in observer only mode. In this practice activity, we will simulate the crash of a primary database for fast start failover dry run, which is fast start failover in observer only mode. To start with this practice activity, we will locate host 01, and then we're going to set environment variable, and then we're going to log in as a sysdba, and then we're going to switch log file, and I will exit out, and we're going to use a terminal window on host 02, and then we're going to set environment variable if this is a new terminal window, and then we're going to make a sysdg session connecting to Boston file sync using data guard broker command line interface. dgmgrl connect sysdg oracle underscore for you at Boston file sync. And also make sure there is no transport lag or apply lag at the physical standby database and the logical standby database for this practice activity. So I'm looking at the London database. As you can see, transport lag is 0 second, apply lag is 0 second. Now we're going to take a look at London 2 logical standby database. Okay, as you can see, transport lag, apply lag, these are all 0 seconds. And then we're gonna display the status of a data guard broker configuration. So we'll type show configuration, and as you can see, everything is good. In the current configuration, we haven't enabled the fast start failover. So what we're gonna do, in preparation of a fast start failover testing, we're gonna set fast start failover target. And in this example, we're gonna make London as a fast start failover target of a Boston database. And also to support role transition service, we will make Boston database as a fast start failover target of a London database. And then finally, you will display the fast start failover target to see whether it was applied successfully or not. For Boston database, fast start failover is set to London correctly. And also for London database, fast start failover target is set to Boston correctly. So we confirm that. And then we're going to modify observer reconnect configuration property, and we're going to set it to 1/22, meaning that every 2 minutes, we're going to reestablish connection from observer to primary database. So we are performing connection testing as well every 2 minutes in this example. And also, we will display redo route setting of a Boston database. So in this case, show database Boston redo route. In this example, Boston database transfer redo Boston far sync synchronously if Boston database is a primary database. And when you look at a London database information, so let's take a look at London database reader route property. Okay, so as expected, London database transfer redo to London far sync if it becomes primary database. And also we added configuration to maximum availability. And then what we're going to do, we're going to enable fast start failover, but observer only, meaning that only simulate. It's kind of a dry run. So if a primary database goes down and observer the lost the connection to primary database, lose connection to a primary database, then what will happen? So this observer mode will give you a simulation kind of information. And then we're going to start observer. And then we're going to return to host 01. And let's kill primary database background process to simulate crash over the primary database. So I will search for the SMON process, and we're going to kill it. 23756. So I killed it. So let's take a look at observer. So as you can see, immediately we received a message. So here, unable to connect to database using Boston. If this were the fast start failover scenario, observer automatically detect connection problem. And also, if an observer cannot communicate with the physical standby database, which is a fast start failover target for a certain amount of time, then fast start failover is initiated. However, in observer mode, fast start failover will not be performed. Instead of that, you will get this message. Fast start failover would have been initiated, but we couldn't do fast start failover because it's observer only mode. Okay, so in your current infrastructure, you can test whether observer fast start failover is possible and it works or not. Instead of actually implementing fast start failover, you can just check whether observer can consider fast start failover in this scenario. So observer mode is useful to run fast start failover in dry run mode, where you want to be sure that your infrastructure is configured properly without false alert before having it fully automated. So you will get this kind of information. Since we tested, we come back to primary database. And then we're going to start up. once database is open, then we're going to exit out and we're going to launch Data Gather Broker command line interface. Okay, so now I come back, so I will exit out, dgmgrl, and then we're going to make connection to Boston database. And then we're going to stop Observer because we tested fast start failover in Observer only mode. And then we're going to disable fast start failover. And I'm going to exit out. So as you can see, your Observer stopped and everything is good. So in this practice activity, we learned that how to perform fast start failover in the dry run mode. So we, as a part of it, we simulated the primary database failure, and then we observed how the observer handled the primary database failure. Okay, even though there wasn't actual fast start failover, but observer was considered fast start failover. So that was a practice. This was a practice 16-1. Practice 16-2, enabling fast start failover. In the previous practice, we simulated fast start failover scenario. Now in this practice activity, we're going to enable fast start failover. The first task is you locate host 2 and you set environment variable correctly, and then using dgmgrl you will connect to Boston file sync, and then you will display transport leg and apply leg of a London database, which is your physical standby database. So transport leg is 0 second, apply leg is 0 second. And what about your physical standby database? Show database London 2, and there is no transport leg, apply leg. And what about your configuration of a Data Gather Broker? So show configuration. As you can see, everything is good. So since everything is good, I will enable fast start failover. And then I will display the current fast start failover setting. As you can see, your data protection mode is a maximum availability, and fast start failover, it is enabled. And everything else is default value. Actually, we changed this as well. Observer reconnect is 120 seconds. Every 2 minutes, we reestablish connection from observer to primary database. And also we have the potential target and also active target. If once observer initiate fast start failover, London becomes target of a fast start failover. So we have this kind of information. And in order to simulate primary database failure, to perform fast start failover, we're going to start observer. Okay, so it is started and it's running. And this is practice 16-2. Practice 16-3, testing fast start failover. In this practice activity, you will simulate a digester on the primary database, and you will observe the automatic failover to the standby database. The first step is you locate host01 window, and you will set environment variable correctly, and then you will log in as a sysdba, and then you will simulate primary database failure with a shutdown abort. And your instance is down, and then we will exit out, and then we're gonna observe fast start fail. We'll observe the observer messages. So we have this message here: try to connect to primary database cannot be reached. And eventually, at some point, you will receive initiating fast start failover to the London database. As you can see, it's not dry mode. It is an actual fast start failover. And you see here performing fast start failover now. Please wait. So you got this message. And then what we're gonna do? You connect to host 03. And you will set environment variable to London, and use dgmgrl, and connect sysdg oracle underscore for you at London, and I connect it, and show configuration. So as you can see, the configuration of a data guard broker is good. However, your original primary database, it became physical standby database, but it is disabled because this new physical standby database must be synchronized with the new primary database. So you got this message, ORA 1661, the standby database needs to be reinstated. That's the message. So in order to perform automatic reinstatement, you will have to shut down and restart physical standby database mount to state. At mount to state, automatic reinstatement will be performed. So you go back to new primary and new physical standby database, which is Boston database, and you log in as a sysdba, and you will start up mount. And I'm going to exit out, and then let you review observer messages. So connection to the new standby database is restored, and operation requires startup of London 2 on the database London 2. So London 2 is restarted. And then we have this message, continuing to reinstate database London 2. And then we see here implicitly in the background, reinstate command is executed. So initiating reinstatement for database Boston, and reinstating database Boston, please wait. So it takes time. So since it takes a little bit of time, I'm going to pause the recording, and then I will come back to see the final result. Okay, so after waiting a couple of minutes, I got this message, successful reinstated database Boston. So I got this message. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I will check configuration of a data guard broker. And then we'll come back here and show configuration. Keep typing, typo. Okay, so I got error message here. It's a multiple warning messages. ORA 16824. Fast start failover related warning. and redo transport error for one or more members, and also other the warning messages. I added a note here. ORA error messages, it depends on the lag and overall performance of a data guard environment. So you will have to wait until the warning messages is cleared up, and then we can move on to next practice activity. So you will have to check configuration over and over until everything is done, and everything must be come back to normal. So we still have a problem. So, but you know, a couple of messages gone. So message from London 2 is gone, and Boston database is good, but London file sync and also London database has some messages. And then you're gonna rerun this again. Now, as you can see, everything came back to normal. So I had to wait about a minute to clear this these warning messages. And also, you're gonna copy show database Boston. Let's check current physical standby database, transport lag, apply lag. Everything is in the 0 second, so no transport lag and apply lag. And as we double checked, your configuration is good. This is practice 16-3. Practice 16-4, switch over to reinstate the database. In this practice activity, we're going to perform switchover to return configuration to the original state. So to do this practice activity, you locate the host 03 and then validate database London. Okay, so the London database is ready for switchover, and we're gonna validate database Boston. And Boston database also ready for switchover. So since primary and standby database, both databases are ready for switchover, we're gonna perform switchover operation. So since it takes about a minute, I will pause the recording and I will come back once switchover is complete. Okay, so now finally switchover is complete. So new primary database is Boston. So let's display resulting configuration. Okay, so I have a couple of messages. So again, in order to in order to receive a successful message or normal status of a data guard broker configuration, we will have to wait a minute or a little more to clear these warning messages. So we're gonna wait about 30 seconds to 1 minute to see if we can clear this problem. So I will stop. I will pause this recording and I will come back to double check. Okay, so I waited about 30 seconds and let's double check. Okay, so everything is gone, so now I'm good. So switchover was successful. So Boston is a primary, Boston file sync, London is a physical standby database. Since we completed the fast start failover testing, I'm gonna stop observer. And then I will disable fast start failover. And I will reset data protection mode back to maximum performance. Finally, I will exit out of a data guard broker command line interface. This is practice 16-4.